So, hi, hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello. So, what we are gonna be talking about today?
Well, I think it's now time a little bit to summarize 2025. Luckily, rapeseed came back in yield.
Yes.
We see somehow on a global European perspective that we have a plus around 12-13%. Depends a little bit on which figures you are believing, but definitely yield come up. And I think also here in the Baltic countries, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, somehow 10, 12, 14, 15% more yield. So that's great, bringing back rapeseed in focus in the discussion, in a little bit in the head of the farmers as a cash crop, as it was in the past.
Yeah.
But definitely we have to discuss, some farmers realizing in yield competition here 5 tons. And other ones still struggling with 2.5.
Yeah. For me, this year was also like I got more yield than I had like 2 years combined previously, but still it's 3.4 tons. But it's not that bad, I think, because I had this clubroot issue. It was I would say it's bad field, and the combine showed like over 4, like in normal places. But those places where there are 1 ton yield, and they add up pretty quickly and get like average down. But it looked nice.
Yeah, but remember well that we discussed then last time that you had this luck that your service provider for the sowing, let's say, pushed you a little bit day by day, coming tomorrow, and then finally it was a week later. But luckily, if we remember this autumn 24, especially August and September, it was beautiful conditions here. It was something like nice tourism area here at Estonia. So you had luck that you came later with the sowing dates and that you didn't have this strong push in big biomass. We see here clearly over many trials, not only here in the Baltics, somehow also Poland and other countries, that this sowing date is somehow set up immediately if you have a stressful autumn condition with a lot of spraying maybe, or if you're a little bit more balanced and a little bit relaxed and not so under pressure.
Yeah, but I think that it's really difficult to know how the weather is gonna be, because last year is like 23 degrees and I know 20th of September, never seen that before, and now we are sitting here like it's I don't know, haven't seen sunshine, and it has been like 10-12 degrees like whole 2 months, or even the season has been like that.
It's a good point. You're right. How we can somehow know in August what's going on, somehow October, November. But the point is, we have some kind of a forecast already, a global perspective, and it is somehow already written down that it will be here in the Baltics more wet in autumn time, a little bit more mild. So temperatures going up somehow. What we need for a good decision is a database. So we should know where's my weather station, how I collect then my temperatures, build up a database that I somehow know, okay, from my sowing date till end of the vegetation, how is it, 800 degrees, 1000, that should be somehow our target, and not some up to 1200 or even more. So that would be the most important investment, weather station, and start to have own database.
Yeah, the weather station, like you said to me last year, and I wrote it in my blog, that you need to have like certain amount of temps to get where we want to plant. And I wasn't convinced about that at the first, because I thought that okay, it's logical, but maybe it doesn't work. And I checked my weather station, looked at the temps. Rene gave me some points, when to spray, like in 3 or 4 leaf stage, and that needs certain amount of temps. I think that's like 300, 400 degrees, and I look at my weather station, saw that 300 degrees is the limit is reached, and went to field, and it was 3 and 4 leaf stage, like perfect stage to apply growth regulator.
Yeah. Maybe Taniel, to bring you also into discussion, how you see sowing date on your farm, how you managed it?
Yeah, like a few years ago, we also saw early August. Then we struggling with that high growing, but now last few years we start 15 August. And even this year, when it's not sunny, it's not warm, it's enough. I think the fields are quite beautiful at the moment. So.
And do you see some kind of little bit adaptations? Let's say when you come with a little bit later sowing, that you don't need that much growth regulation?
Yeah, of course. Like this year, only one time, and that's enough.
Yep.
Last year, yeah, it was still 2 times because it was so warm.
But when did you sow your plant like last year? What was
it was also 15 to 20.
Yeah, I think the most important point what we can somehow today share with the audience is that that Estonia has really a big challenge because of at the beginning we have this impact by these long day conditions. You mentioned yesterday up to 16 hours sunshine, totally crazy. And that is really pushing the plants at the beginning, and then connected with a little bit moisture, and then maybe on top mineral nitrogen, and then this shit is growing like hell.
Yeah.
So, and then later the plants come immediately and quick into these short day conditions, and we look now out here, there is no sunshine. So the problem is that with no sunshine, then especially at the end of the autumn time, there is no strong impulse on the hormone metabolism and everything for the yield development.
Okay.
And that is then something what we can see later in flowering and in the ripening phase, that we then just have small pot packages and not really that what we know from the past.
Yeah, actually I saw it myself. I sent you a picture too, that I also had like more potential, but those pods didn't develop. They were just like that, like this short, coming from the root or from the branch or from the stem, and they just like stopped developing. Even though we had plenty of warmth in spring, we had plenty of moisture, everything, but they just stopped.
Yeah, I think what we somehow can say for this topic, sowing date, before we go further, is in general over all Europe, you can somehow say from these traditional local sowing dates, there's definitely a potential today that we, let's say, delay that somehow to 5-7 days. Depends a little bit maybe from technical equipment and the power of the farm and everything, but you can say somehow from previous sowing dates, 10-15 years ago to today, definitely a potential of 5 to 7 days for delay sowing.
Yeah, because we haven't had those early winters, not more, like several years. In olden times it was like in November you could start skiing even, but now it's just bad skiing weather all the time.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe we can go further. We discussed now sowing date, a little bit cross regulation. Taniel, what is somehow your strategy when you mentioned now one application this year, last year 2? What kind of products and intensity you are doing?
I use now Kuusiku in the 3-4 leaves. It's quite strong. Many says it's too much because I use 0.8. But I saw last year when I tried the other products It was okay maybe 1 week,
Yeah.
maybe 2 weeks, and after that it goes like nothing.
Yeah.
But with Karuks, it's like this year one time. Yeah, first week was, I think the picture wasn't very beautiful because it looks like it damaged a little bit because the plants were quite small, even 3-4 leaves. But I think with these wet conditions, plants were not very strong, and it damaged a little bit. But now it's very beautiful.
It's nice that you somehow say, okay, last year 1-2 weeks stop, because that is exactly what here our friend here Ute Kropp from Germany is saying. This somehow there is a potential of a break for around 150 degrees. So if you're somehow calculating average day 10-15 degrees, then it's this 10 to 14 days. And then if you have nice conditions, then it's just regrow and then restarting, and then shit is growing further. So I think it makes definitely sense to come early, to make that application, and even somehow a little bit stronger. And even I would say personally 0.8 is not so strong, so there is even more possible.
For me, earlier time, I thought also don't damage the plants and make it easier, not so hard. And if it was 2023, this cold winter, and in the spring I saw every place where was double amount growth regulator. Everything was alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the day when I thought I will go strong on the autumn.
And maybe when go one more step further, what are you doing regarding micronutrients
in the autumn? Usually only boron, but this year I also put sulfur.
Why you put sulfur on that? That's interesting.
Because you told it. There is some
We are doing everything you say. We don't think about it.
This sulfur topic is coming by our friend Albin from Sweden, when he realized 23-24 this latest rapeseed competition, this international competition with teams around Baltic Sea. We could analyze the figures quite nice, and they were somehow showing a little trend that the top teams, they were using really a big amount of sulfur to push here, I guess, not only the nitrogen efficiency. So I'm thinking there's also somehow an impact winter hardiness, and even maybe on this control of soil-borne diseases, because we know sulfur as also kind of fungicide against soil-borne diseases, maybe like verticillium.
But common knowledge in Estonia has been like sulfur is needed, in spring, because it needs it's needed for pot development and for oiliness and everything else, and to have like good flowering and everything. But in autumn, sulfur.
Exactly. Everyone knows that. It's a standard. Nitrogen, sulfur, springtime, 1 to 4, 1 to 5.
Yes,
everyone knows that. But the point is, in autumn time, there's no, let's say, that's not an extreme case that we have nice developed rapeseed, and then you can somehow calculate 1 kilogram green biomass cut it on a square meter means an uptake on the field of 50 kilograms nitrogen. 2 kilograms, 100 kilogram nitrogen. So, and 100 kilogram nitrogen, let's say when we calculate 1 to 4, 1 to 5, it means somehow 20, maybe 25 kilograms of sulfur for the best efficiency of this nitrogen. So, and somehow we can maybe estimate 10 kilograms maybe from mineralization of the soil. But when we have then quite wet conditions, it's also flushing away.
Yeah.
So it definitely makes sense, and that's why I'm really happy that we were able to do some kind of quite early testing a little bit this topic on your farm, and also on our friend Karel's farm, also a similar trial, to see a little bit, is there a kind of potential for improving here rapeseed production in Estonia.
Okay, but can we come back to this boron topic? How much is needed in autumn time, or how much needed during whole growing season?
I would say when you look into the scientific books, you can find between 150 maybe 300 grams. That is somehow a standard figure. Personally, I think as more as better. So if somebody would ask me, I would definitely say 300 grams. Because somehow when we come back to this point that the rapeseed can...
It's in autumn time.
In autumn time.
Yeah.
And then when we come back to this point that rapeseed can really grow here well and make big biomass, then we need this boron. But the important point is we should not somehow think about to put that in one application and it's done. So you have to apply that several times somehow, because the uptake is quite tough for the plant. And the plant is not really able somehow to mobilize it and to transport it well, so you need it several times.
Split applications.
Yes.
But
And then to come to your point, springtime, at least also another 300, so that you have then somehow on a level of 600. But there is also somehow now thinking to improve it further and also to increase this boron intensity in springtime. Somehow there is a little bit an idea, maybe we can improve the flowering and pollination, but maybe there's also a point somehow that we can maybe improve that flowering also against this late frost topic.
yeah,
Has to be checked.
yeah, late frosts are the are the second biggest challenge, except the sowing date and warm autumns, because like every year in May we have some frost. This year we had like minus, I don't know, 8 degrees. I had minus 8.
Yeah.
Minus 8 in May, or minus 5 or something like
Yeah,
that.
minus 5 definitely.
Yeah.
And last year even in June,
Yeah.
minus 5.
Yeah. So late frost is definitely it's a nightmare point. We already spent quite a lot of money,
Yeah.
and then to watch then that the frost are destroying our flowers is a nightmare point. Yeah. What can we do? Definitely we have to be very careful regarding the variety selection. That's definitely a point. Next point is, if we're making somehow, that's a little bit observation from Germany, if we're doing earlier sowing dates, and we have such mild winters, can happen now, then also the start of flowering is earlier. So we say somehow, or we observed in Germany, when we have somehow, let's say, up to, let's say, when we somehow make early sowing in August, in comparison to later sowing in September, and see then there's also somehow the chance that we see an earlier flowering of up to 2 weeks earlier than this late sowing rapeseed. So that's also a very important point which we have to a little bit more check carefully here. Another point would be, growth regulation in springtime is a question mark. Does it really make sense, the investment? Because lodging resistance from the variety improved a lot. So it's really a question, how does it make sense to invest it? Also here, maybe we should try somehow next spring to make smaller trials in the fields, in practice, to see maybe if we come very early with a somehow not so strong but early growth regulation after winter, and maybe then with a second time shortly before flowering, to see if we can maybe push a little bit the start of flowering to a later date. That we have to see.
Okay, but this growth regulation in springtime, it has been a topic in Estonia for many years. And let's be clear, you are saying right now that this isn't worth the money right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
You
Yes.
heard that. You heard that from the man himself.
That's a clear message. What we can really say, the varieties they improved a lot. So this kind of lodging story and even let's say disease stories in this early spring, we don't need the fungicides for that. But this late frost with this flowering, that there's maybe now another reason to check that deeper.
You have to like push the flowering later. You have to so the plant stays greener a longer time. You need fungicide for that.
Longer that we keep them longer down and before then start with elongation and everything. But definitely this early spring questionable, but fungicides and flowering is then definitely a must, where we have the biggest impact. How was it for you, Taniel? You were joining this yield competition,
Yeah.
and I have heard that you are somehow that you were quite successful this year. So I'm really looking forward. I think it will be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Will be the ceremony. Just a few sentences about your crop management on that field.
It wasn't nothing special. In the springtime, I made the growth regulator this year. Maybe next year I won't do that, or I will do some tebuconazole or something like that only. And I think my mistake was on flowering states too less fungicide.
How much?
Like it was 0.9 propulsion, but like this year it was so wet. It should have been more, I think. But yeah, nothing special like usual.
How many kilograms of nitrogen? And we have to say that the yield is like 5 tons or
It was a competition result, but field average was 4.5. It was 100 hectares
100 hectare field. Yeah.
It was
It's impressive.
and the oil was more than 45.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, in the springtime, nitrogen only 125 kilogram.
125 and 4.5
Yeah.
tons.
125.
Yeah, and the pre-crop was winter barley, so not some flour or beans or.
If we keep in mind that you need for a ton yield 30 kilograms and you keep your 4 tons, then it would make 120 kilograms. Then we are quite efficient, my guy.
I think yes.
It's like 100% efficiency or even more.
Didn't know that. Shit, we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't.
My goodness. And how much sulfur you put then?
It was 40 kilograms.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, I think very big impact is variety. I had 3 varieties, and there was more than half ton yield difference. Even everything was same.
So I think now we can make here a small note. Now is advertisement coming. So which variety?
It was Janos.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard that. Okay, when you now look a little bit back, or maybe you both look a little bit back to this last season, what are your major, let's say, takeaways from the last season? What do you think somehow, what you take maybe into the future?
For me, definitely this weather station and growing degree days experiment has been very, very eye-opening, and because my fields are far away, spread around, and so I don't have to drive to check the plants. I can just check the weather station from my phone, and I can put the growth regulator in and go and start spraying. I don't need that extra time. So this growing degree days and also to have enough boron and you have enough sulfur. It is something, but I still believe that we can control so much of our yield, but the main main yield comes from there.
And you, Taniel?
Yeah, I think one is nitrogen usage. Before this year, we already talked to decrease nitrogen level. Now I see results. It really works. And this autumn shows, I think it's not. We have in Estonia problem with soil compaction. Even we work with it. I think it's not enough what we do today, especially like here like this.
This year when you're driving or like cultivating or doing something on your field, it's wet. The soil is so wet that you're compacting it immediately. I just checked my fields with the penetrometer, and things are super bad because the compaction is like crazy. Like it starts from 20 centimeters, it's on 30 centimeters, and if you're like seeing on tram lines, it's like on 5 centimeters is a compaction already. Usually it's not that compacted.
I am using now years every year. I cultivate at least 25 centimeter. I don't use disc because of that. I'm using only cultivator to go at least 25 centimeters, even to 30. But still, now we have that compaction lower level.
Yeah, you have to go deeper.
Yeah.
May just a small impulse for that. We had this year or the last season a very exciting trial together with Ute Kropp from the university in Kiel. We test 2 different pre-crops. We had on one side barley, standard pre-crop for rapeseed, and then on the other side we had, which is somehow possible in north of Germany, winter beans.
Winter beans.
Okay.
So for as a pre-crop for rapeseed, and the difference between these 2 crops or pre-crops for rapeseed was 0.8 tons
Okay.
yield difference.
And winter beans, 1, I think.
No. I mean the rapeseed yield.
Yeah, I think that the winter beans was a better.
No, the winter, let's say the beans, they had a super year with super yield. They produced a lot of volunteers, which we had to take out then by herbicide. But the point really was that this rapeseed, even let's say it was plowing after the barley, developing super well, and then somehow reaching the peak, nitrogen was then empty in the soil, and then it was really developing very well, very bad to the end of autumn.
Okay.
And from these beans, there was a lot of push.
Yeah.
And so it took a while, but then the biomass boost was extremely strong. And so we could somehow show that we can save fertilization, mineral fertilization, easily 30 kilograms, what we could reduce. We had a much better oil content level, more balanced, and somehow, this extra yield. So that was really very interesting, and maybe also impulse, maybe not beans, maybe peas somehow here in the Baltics. Also an idea for future.
But we have to talk about. I think that the viewers also want to know, because in Estonia we always say that when you're having peas as a pre-crop for oilseed rape, they have similar diseases, and it's a risk. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we have seen also that in the variant with the beans there was a higher verticillium story, but anyhow it is higher yield. So yeah, you're right. There is maybe something which the trial is now running second year, where we have to keep an eye on it. But at least for first year, and the impulse was really exciting.
Because the beans also give they're giving nitrogen into the soil. And this, if you're coming back to the first things you said that autumn nitrogen is the new thing to do.
Exactly. And when we look a little bit to the time to finish that, let me share with 2 or 3 points why we are here today. There's this seminar now to share these latest results, especially here from our trials in Kuusiku, now with the people here in Estonia, and maybe now for the audience. So what we realized in these trials was with a later sowing date, 11 days later, 24, we realized somehow 200-300 kilograms more yield. Of course, we had differences between the varieties, but interesting was also that we could show with later sowing date, we were able to reach a very nice yield with lower nitrogen in spring. But the most exciting point, just to give a small appetizer here to the people, is we also test different seed densities.
Yeah.
40, 60, 80 and 100.
Yeah.
And the best yield came with 80 seeds per square meter. Again, also funny here, 800 kilograms more yield than with 40 seeds per square meter. And I would say to the audience, when you have now really big questions, you should stay tuned and we will make later another podcast version to discuss that. I will now explain a little bit more in the seminar. But yeah, so there's a lot of impulses. And now let's say we should put all our efforts here together, check them out, and then to spread that with the people here that we make the next yield step here in Estonia.
Nice. Thank you, René, for
Guys,
sharing.
it was a big
those
pleasure.
Insights, yeah, really, really nice.
Yeah.
And let's see what we can do.
Exactly, and then also somehow all the best to your audience, and stay tuned for more information. And I think we should make such a discussion more often, guys. It was making fun.
Hopefully, Karel also next.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we can
next
get,
time.
we can get Karel here too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, and we'll see you again. Bye.
Bye.